it's your girl Karina here, and happy blessed Tuesday. I hope that you had a fruitful, flourishing month of June, because just a little reminder, it's legitly the last day of June today, and tomorrow is officially July 1st, Canada Day. So if you're here in Toronto, I hope you have wonderful plans. Exercising, again, physical distancing. I am done with physical distancing, but we have to be prudent. We have to do our part. We have to do our Christian duty to not spread this pandemic, right? And we just have to spread the love and the mercy and grace of God. That is what we should be doing right this second. Really. And that is part of the duty of being a true warrior for Christ. You know, I love being a true warrior for Christ. It's something that it really inspires you to become better and better and better each day. And it really flicks off the enemy from luring you with temptations here and there. And it's very easy to get immersed in those temptations, those things of this world that will truly perish, and fall astray from focusing on Christ. You know, so that's why, as being a true warrior for Christ, I want to put it out there that we have to constantly remember all the time to not be discouraged, to not let the enemy silence you, as I clearly love talking about in my intro in my music video, which I highly recommend you go check out if you have not already checked it out. And really, I know it's a Disney song movie, but I legitimately love the message speaking right to the enemy, eye to eye. Cannot even try to prevent me to stop what I'm doing, because this is my mission. This is our mission as being a true Catholic Christian, and for us not to be silenced by the world, by the secular world of chaos and being in the midst of the storm. We are just the steady cross of Christ, right? So that's what we have to focus on, that steady cross of Christ in the midst of the spinning world, which I always love to say all the time, because as Cardinal Thomas Collins said it's so straight to the point. Because being in the secular world means that, as being a true warrior for Christ, we have to be focused on that steady cross of Christ, not immersing ourselves in the midst of this spinning world and the storms of this world. So that's why we have to keep our minds focused. We have to keep our hearts focused, to be prudent and to persevere and to be patient in all that we do. And we cannot be discouraged and become doubtful and restless when times get tough, when times are in the process of waiting. You know, all of us are probably fed up by now. I'm pretty sure we're all fed up with this whole physical distancing. Not social, because we're still socializing in some degree. In church, you see friends, you see family, right? But it's physical because you're not able to give a full-on hug, right? So it's just like virtual hug. Yeah. So with that said, I hope and pray that you've been well. Stay strong. Stay fervent in all your prayers. Save all the special memories that you want to save until in person. Don't, again, waste on a text or a phone call. I feel it's, during this pandemic, it really allows us to realize that being in person is so important. Being in person is something that we tend to forget because we're so hooked on our phones all the time, right? So that's what I'm saying. If you have anything special to say to anyone in particular, just save it to in person, because those are cherishable memories that you just cannot pick up in a store or buy online on Amazon. So with that said, I hope you have your favorite snack, your favorite drink with you, so that you be comfortable here with me, hanging out with me for Christ and for God, especially. It's all for God. Really, it's all for God. It's not for me. I'm just doing my part, and so should you, as I always love to say. And really, again, thank you for being here with me for Christ and for God. It's all for Christ and it's all for God. And with that said, let's get started. Today I want to talk to you guys about turning your attention to God. Yep. I said that. Literally, the reason why I felt that this was a very appropriate topic for today is because now that the economy is slowly picking up, shopping malls are open, more shopping, whatnot. I don't know if you're a shopper, whatnot. But I'm just saying, now that more distractions are starting to arise to the surface, businesses are open, you're starting to go back to work for those who are working from home. I don't know. Really, we have to remind ourselves to keep on having that focal point and our focus of our attention on God all the time, because really it's very easy for us to immerse ourselves in the spinning world because of the busyness of our lives, meeting here, meeting there, not fun stuff, and you tend to get very distracted and you become burned out from like everything they have to do for work and whatnot. So that's why if you have a spare moment, make a spare moment, okay? You have a spare moment. If you can touch your phone and message people, then you have time for God. No excuse whatsoever. It's true. If you can check Facebook, if you can scroll all day long, if you have Instagram, you can scroll all day long. If you have YouTube and you're like watching videos all day long, you have time for Christ. Or if you watch Netflix on your favorite show, I'm not saying all those social media platforms are bad. I'm just saying that have that balance, have that moderation in your life. Especially for God. When you place God first, everything will follow. Therefore, don't make an excuse that I don't have time for church. Oh, I don't have time for this rosary meeting. Really, a rosary is about 20 minutes, and then if you do it in, as a Zoom meeting, then it becomes maybe 30 minutes, but great, because at least you're united with your brothers and sisters in Christ together. That's why personally, I always love the Sunday Warrior Prayer Rosary group, because really it doesn't matter how many people are there, as long as all of our hearts and our minds and our souls are all united and focused on Christ and our Blessed Mother Mary and God and Jesus, then really that prayer of 4 or 8 or 9 people will be stronger than 10 distracted people praying the rosary, just mumble jumble So really it's the quantity. It's the quality. It's quality, sorry. Yeah, not the quantity. It's the quality, not the quantity. So really, that's why, to get the bottom of it, I want you guys to make time for Christ and for God and our Blessed Mother Mary, because really, we cannot do it alone. We cannot rely on our own will to really live our own lives without God, without Jesus, without our Blessed Mother Mary, because really, we were blessed with our life uniquely, with a gift, with a talent, with a skill. It's only on us to just give God that yes, that unconditional yes, and He will be there for you. He's always there for you, watching you fall, watching you get up, watching you follow your own will at your own time. God's always there. He's trying always to bring you back on track all the time, right? So be grateful for everything that you've been given. Be grateful. Therefore, when you wake up with your 2 eyes open, just say thank you for another day, that I'm alive and I'm breathing. Because really, when it comes to turning our focus to God, we cannot look left, we cannot look right, because looking left and right, the enemy's just hey, stop, hello. Yeah, that's how it is. That's why we have to keep our focus on that focal point, on Jesus Christ and our God. And always having intercession of Blessed Mother Mary and Saint Joseph all the time, and all the angels and archangels and saints, so that we will not be pulled away from the journey towards Christ. Because really, immersing yourself in the secular world can really distract you so many ways. Really, when you go straight to God, you'll have that firm, steadfast journey preventing you from becoming weakened. Let me say it again. You'll have that steady, steadfast Steady, steadfast. Journey closer in Christ so that you will not become weakened by the enemy. Because really, the enemy will keep on trying until you fall. But even when you fall, you get up, you punch the enemy in the face with a Hail Mary full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now at the hour of our death. Amen. You say that, that's a punch in the devil's face. So I personally don't like saying his name, but really I want to make an emphasis that there's nothing to be fearful. There's nothing to doubt. There's nothing to be restless about, because our Blessed Mother Mary is always there, holding our hand like a little child. Like we are the little children, holding her hand and her leading us closer and closer to her Son, Jesus. It's very easy for us to be led astray because of what's happening right now. And this pandemic is really burning us all out, because we're all just at that point of we just want this to be over. I know. So really, that's why we have to keep on persevering during this time, and we should not allow any chaos of this world to lead us astray, no matter how much it's just horrible to even hear, so that's why we have to firmly unite our spirit with God all the time, to firmly root our spirit and our soul in God, so that nothing will stop us. Nothing will stop us. It's something that it's so easy to say, I know, and then once you're placed in the situation, it becomes tough. But I can attest that definitely for sure, call upon our Blessed Mother Mary, and she will allow you to endure your trials and tribulations with peace. No fail. Because through her, she brings you closer to her Son, Jesus. And she allows you to flourish more than you think you can do. Because really, like any small distraction alone can really lead you astray. Because like one small distraction, then another one, and another one, and so on and so forth. And really, when you allow one distraction to get to you, you're just like, oh, it's just a small one, it's okay, I'll let it go. And then you let another one. And really, at the end of the day, it will become one giant distraction. And then you become so blurred out what your mission is and what your goal is for Christ anymore, right? So don't allow the enemy to use any source of opportunity to get to you, to distract you, to blur your vision, and to blur your judgment. That's why, as much as you can, go to church. Spend time with Christ, because we need so much blessings and graces to fight off the enemy, to repel the enemy just like that. And I personally can attest that once a week Mass is not enough. Sunday Mass is not enough, because whatever happens on the 6 days can really forget Mass on Sunday. So really try as best you can to go to church online. If you can't go physically, go online and spend time with Christ. Hear the greatest homilies. I personally love to do the online Mass with my parents every night at St. Michael's Cathedral, because it's just, I need it. I need so much graces that I can get. That's why I personally love Fridays to go to St. Michael's Cathedral, spend time with Christ, and to be alone with him, so that I'll be able to keep on doing what I'm doing and not allowing the enemy to just distract me and to prevent me and to stop me from what I'm doing. And so in your case, in correlation to you, definitely for sure, book a day to go to church physically and just have that quiet conversation with God, so that you can really allow yourself to tell God, speak, Lord. Just go straight to God. Have that one-on-one dialogue with Christ and with God, and telling God, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Because a lot of the times we tend to just tell God all of our problems and our desires and everything, and then when God's trying to speak, it's just like, no, 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 no. It just, if you see like a satellite dish and you see like the radio waves, our radio waves are probably like 10 times like stronger, and God's trying to speak in the sheer silence, but we can't even hear it because we are so immersed in this world. We're so distracted in this world that we tend to lose ourselves and become burned out and tired and so exhausted, you know. So really, I highly recommend you book a day of the week if you can, and really just spend time with Christ and with God and Blessed Mother Mary, so that you will continually be strengthened against the enemy. And no matter how many times the enemy will keep on attacking you, you will just repel off and be like, nope, you can't silence me. You can't prevent me to stop what I'm doing. You can't distract me with your old ways of tempting me, because that's behind me, because now I'm looking forward, and now it's time to focus on Christ and God, and no more of my old ways, no more of falling into temptation just like that. Because really, when you have a lot of continuous graces from God, from going to church every single day, you are strong. You become stronger than ever to tell the enemy off. Therefore, that's why I'm saying I want to make it a point that going to Sunday Mass alone is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I know everyone has their own busy lives, but make time for God. There's a morning Mass. There's a 5:30. And then the online Mass, you can literally play it on YouTube any time of the day. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse, really. So even more so, be online. Don't get distracted with like notifications here, message here, email here. No. When you're watching the live stream, or maybe not live stream, turn everything off so that your focus is only on God. You're turning your attention to God only. So that's why we need to have the means of doing well for Christ and for God. You know, remembering that it's only glorifying God's name and not ourselves. Because it's very easy to fall into that trap of just thinking, oh yeah, no, I know I'm so good at this. Well, especially for performers, yeah, it's very easy just like that to really get it to our egos and our pride and our minds, just like that. That's why whoever I collab with for music and my music ministry, I always want to make an emphasis that when you get a compliment of how good you are, you transfer it right up to God right away, no delay. Don't let it sit on your mind and then no, straight e-transfer up there. E-transfer up there right away. Wire transfer straight up there, no delay. Because the moment you let it sit, the enemy will start to feed on that, right? So that's why even whatever skill you do, maybe talk videos, I don't know who's watching this, but whatever ministry you're doing, young adults or youth ministry, don't let it get to your head. It's very easy to get to your head when people start to compliment you and how great you are. I mean, yes, acknowledge it, but you transfer that up right away to God, because we need to exercise, again, that act of humility, that we cannot do what we do in our ministry without God. Because we're just the vessel, we're just the instrument, we're just a mere instrument, and we cannot do it alone because we are His creation. We are weak, we have our temptations, we have our flaws, we have the virtues we need to work on. So that's why I always remember that whatever ministry you're doing, if it's a youth ministry, young adult, music ministry, always remember that. So that you will not become burned out, you will not become exhausted, you will not allow the enemy to make you quit. Preventing the enemy from making you quit, go to confession. Get rid of those venial sins, because those venial sins alone can lead you astray. from the pathway closer and closer to Christ. You know, get rid of those little venial sins, because we tend to forget about that and just focus on the big ones rather than just the little small ones. No, try to clean the plate as much as possible, you know, because really, you know, once God calls you back home, there's no more chance left. What you have is all you've got to present to Christ and to God, and God will do the judging from that point on. You know, so really I want to close off and leave you guys a last note that, you know, we need to have patience and to not become weary in our labors for Christ. We need to have patience and to not become weary in our labors for Christ. Because really, when you're doing a ministry for God and for Christ and our Blessed Mother Mary, we need to be all committed for the love of God. We all need to be committed for the love of God, because really, I know with ministry it tends to get exhausting. I know. But really, seek the intercession of Blessed Mother Mary. Seek the intercession of Jesus Christ for strength, for courage, for fortitude, for patience, and strength and guidance, because really the enemy will use that exhaustion as a form to make you quit, right? And so that's why don't let the enemy use that as a form to attack you, because definitely for sure that is one of the forms and the ways that the enemy uses to make you quit and make you feel burned out and exhausted and feeling so distracted, because just like, oh, I'm tired of this, I don't want to do it anymore. It's just, you know, so really allow yourself to speak to God and tell God, okay, you know, are you actually making me feel this way because you want me somewhere else? You want me to continue my mission somewhere else? Are you calling me to another ministry? You know, really, again, that's why we need to have that constant dialogue with God all the time. Therefore, go to church so you'll be able to have that time and not get distracted. You know, because you're there in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Right there. Jesus right there. You know, so that's why I highly recommend you go to church more than once a week, so that you will constantly have these blessings and these strengths continuously, and you'll have more ways to repel off the enemy, no matter how hard he tries, no matter how hard he tries to make you restless. Because really, the more you're strengthened, the more you have grace from God and Jesus Christ and Blessed Mary, then the more power you will have to be a true warrior for Christ. You know, and you will not allow any distractions get to you, because your mind is so synced with Christ and your heart is so focused on Christ, and your heart will only just close the door on the enemy. No matter how many times the enemy keeps on knocking, you're like, nope, closed, just for you, not for Jesus. My heart's open for Jesus, but closed for you. You know, closed for business for you. So really, that's why, just remember that as you continue on your journey closer and closer to Christ. And it's not easy, I know, but the rewards, the heavenly divine rewards, are truly worth it. The saints did it. They died for it. So they are our examples. So let our universal call to holiness be our yes and our unconditional yes, persevering through every single aspect of our life, no matter how hard it gets. So there you have it. I pray that you will flourish and bear fruit as July begins tomorrow officially. And as I always love to say in all my videos, don't be afraid to be true warriors of Christ. Bye.